Okay, thank you, Najika-san. And so the Nalanda studies, the brochure which is circulated to you now, the green one. The green one is particularly for Nalanda diploma course, which is going to be introduced very soon. This is the 6th batch. First 5 batches completed, and 6th one to be commenced from now this month, March, and yet to be started. So anyone interested, this contains a very systematic approach to study what your mind is, what is ontological reality, and how to manage emotions. All these will be covered there. So when we discuss the morning 2 sessions, and all these total like 9 sessions to be conducted in Oroville. So these are like the main points which in this course, 1 year course, not a diploma course, there's going to be more detailed explained. So feel free to join this. And this evening, we will have the teaching on Nalanda Master's course, which is um, not really what you had the one that is brown in color. Um, so this evening we have the class from 6 to 7:30, and so I'm not sure whether we'll have this here or there. We'll just see, and it's going to be quite technical. And we see that the Pushkarji, he knows it so well. This technical. He studied with me for many years while he was studying in Delhi University, and also here Ashwin. He knows that it's quite technical, and the two of them, Jack, particularly, I would say the last time he was in the most technical part, he was there in the monastery studying that with us, and Loena. Yes. So the thing is that the this evening, if you want to just feel what is that like, what is meant by technical in Buddhist philosophy, what is meant by technical? Is there something which we cannot really understand it? If you want to know, then join us at your own risk. At your own risk, you can join us. And whereas you find it technical, don't worry. So this is how everybody started. I started like this, and then the Pushkarji, now the assistant registrar of Pondicherry University, and Ashwin, Jack, Lohana. So they started like this. They started like this, and now they are somewhere. So this is how I started all these many years, and this is how everybody, it's a matter of the opportunity. So if you don't underestimate your potential, everybody has the potential to get somewhere. Understand this, to discover your true nature, as somebody mentioned this morning, discover one's own potential, and then you see the joy. So, okay, so having said this, so basically, screen, screen sharing. So this afternoon is that they're teaching us on compassion. Okay, so let me begin with this. We are talking about the compassion. The first, to talk about compassion, we need to have a sense of compassion for yourself. This is very important, self-compassion. And what does it mean by self-compassion? Before I go there, let us read what Albert Einstein has to say. Albert Einstein, of course, he's not the, the religious figure. He's a scientist. You all know that he's the top-ranking the physicist in the world. So in the history of the humanity, I would say that he's the top. Still, he's the top. So what he has to say. So from there, we see that, okay, these are the, sometimes, for example, I myself, when I was a young boy, say like age 16, 17, 18, particularly I would say those years, 14 I would say, no 15, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, I was extremely fond of the Albert Einstein for the reason that when I was in class 4, 5, 6, as when Ajgasana was yet to be there, she must not be even born, and I was happy, so happy with mathematics, and then later class like 8, and then particularly class 9, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then during that time, uh, I think class 7, 8, Ajgasana joined the foster home. So we were together, brought up together. But of course, there's a huge gap in age. I was much older. And then during those years, like age 14, 15, no, 15, 16, 17, 18, I was so fond of physics. And for me, physics and mathematics, and along with, of course, the Tibetan language. So these are three subjects, these are my strength. And I was so fond of physics. Particularly, I was thinking of becoming a physicist after the high school to join the physics, the university with the physics honors. And don't ask me why you did not follow up that. It's gonna be a long story. You're getting it? Okay, don't think it negatively. Okay, so let us see what Albert Einstein says. So basically, why I am bringing these scientists is because to tell us that finally we have to discover the reality. It's not about isms, it's about the reality. It's about your well-being, and it's about the reality. So all the miseries, all the problems that you see at home on the global level is all because of the ignorance involved there. Ignorance. But the parents, they are so short-sighted and close-minded, do not allow the children to study. Then the whole family suffers because of the ignorance of the parents. So likewise, say in a community with the leader, who's ever in the school, colleges, universities, or even in the corporate world, wherever, when the leader is very close-minded and short-sighted, then the people under him or her suffer. This is reality. So the ignorance, and let's see what Albert has to say, and then of course the various philosophical traditions, they identify ignorance as the root of all the problems. And then this morning, what we discussed of the verse which read which I showed before. So here it says, ignorance is the root, which in turn, the fourth line says, which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. So ignorance is the root of the problem. So with this, now what Albert Einstein has to say, he said that the human being is a part of the whole. Human being is a part of the whole, called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself or herself, his thoughts or her thoughts, and feeling as something separated from the rest. This is a kind of optical delusion of their consciousness. Optical delusion is the ignorance. It's the ignorance, seeing the division that I and you. Look at all the wars happening now. It's all because of this I and you. This optical delusion which the Albert Einstein identifies this. So how to now do, and this delusion, what does this delusion do to us? This delusion is a kind of a prison for us. It's a prison for us, making us suffer, making others suffer, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. What should we do now? If this is how we feel the prison, how we feel suffocation of ourselves in the community and so forth, our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening the circle of compassion. So here comes the compassion. By widening the circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. So the next question is it possible? So this morning we discussed whether or not it is possible to have such a compassion to all the beings. In other words, infinite goodness. Infinite goodness. Can we have it? The lasting goodness, lasting well-being, lasting happiness. Can we have these? This is a question. So what we said is that don't be quick to say no. If you say no, finish. That's a dead end. You will not put effort to go further. And if you say yes, then the question will come, how? How is it possible? So here, so what we said is that this morning, what we said is that where you feel the goodness, extreme goodness, beautiful, the memorable goodness, beautiful moments. So this is all related to compassion, trust. This is what we learned this morning. It's all related to this compassion. And now we see that, for example, like, who was that? I think the lady over there, you talked about the giving birth to a child, to your daughter. Who was that? Monique. Okay. So somebody told Monique or Monica? Monique. So Monique talked about her giving birth to a child, and that's the most beautiful moment to embrace the child, wonderful child. Just think of this. Just imagine that, say, your child. So 1-day-old child. In fact, this is the same thing which I asked many years ago in another place. And one gentleman from England, he said the same thing. He said that when he was sharing this, I asked, what is the most beautiful moment in your life? To all the people in the class. And one gentleman from England, he must be in his 30s, he said the most beautiful in my life was to touch the hand of 1-day-old daughter. So he touched, and when he was sharing this, he was literally becoming emotional. He was going to tears. Look, just imagine that you are that person, you are that gentleman, and you're the gentleman, and just feel that. Do you feel any sense of judgment, being judgmental to this child? There's all the sense of being judgmental dissolves. You agree? Become judgmental of this child dissolves when this so much love and affection flows. So, and the accompanying feeling is so beautiful. Just imagine. So Albert Einstein, what he said is that, yeah, this delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and affection. Affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion. So now just imagine that the mother who feels this affection, beautiful affection, and feeling so beautiful moment within one's mind, if this directed was one child, if the same can be felt with 10 people, what do you think? That beautiful moment multiplies by 10. You agree? And the same, if you can extend it, you can feel this to all the beings. What do you think? Infinite joys. You agree? You agree? Just simple. This is a simple mathematics. So with this mind, then ask you, what would be the next question? What is the next question? Whether or not this is possible, where you just as you feel this beautiful moment with your child, beautiful moment with your child, can you feel this to all the beings? If you feel this, then what Albert Einstein said, that our task must to free ourselves from this prison of restricting ourselves to a small circle by widening our circle of compassion, widening this to all the beings. The question is it possible? Okay, but Einstein is very positive. He says that this must be done. This must be done. If to be done, how do you do that? This is the question. Okay, this is a very serious question. So before we do that, let's say that the how many you like, let's say, this charger versus your mobile, which can give you, which can make many things very easy for you. Communication, watching the news, the music, recording, camera, all. So if the features that you have on a mobile today, say 30, 40 years ago, if you are to have all these things, you have to carry a huge bag with you. You agree? So those young people, you have no experience. Those of my age, you have the experience. For example, tape recorder means separate tape recorder. Camera means separate camera. And then the what is that? And the compass to check which direction. You need a separate compass. You agree? So which means you need to have a huge bag to carry what small mobile does today. So this is more beautiful or this is more beautiful? Tell me very honestly. Don't be revolutionary. Or some people may say, oh, I like this because this will not steal my time. Mobile steals my time. We say that. You're getting, but in actuality, be very honest. How many you, when you forgot your mobile somewhere, or in your room, not lost in the train station or airport, in your room left it, and you came to the office or somewhere else, separated by 2-3 hours. How many feel a little panicky, in a sense? To be very honest. To be very honest. Some say, no, you have to do it once. First do it, then you see. You're getting it? Sometimes we are not really realistic. Okay. So what I'm saying is that for this, oh, now I have to calculate. Yes, calculator. In those days, you need to have a separate calculator. Now this does all the work. So I wanted to calculate. This does not do the calculation. You're getting it? But your mobile can do it. So, and with the mobile, small children, they just say, and you calculate, and the mother goes to the mobile, and small children thinks that this has everything there. Likewise, any small box like this should have that capacity, like the cart, which we discussed this morning. But they don't know that the difference between the different carts. They don't know that. So why? One cart allows you to take all the groceries with you, and the other cart does not allow you to take the groceries. Why? Why? Anyone quick to save time? So the one card is just your office ID, office ID card. It is not attached with your bank. You're getting it? Whereas the other card, although looks alike, but one is attached with the bank. So with your bank deposit is connected. One is just office ID, but a small child does not make this distinction. Cannot make this distinction. So likewise, say which means that in order for this card to work, that you can take the groceries, very easily groceries, whatever you require, this card should have potential or should have something which is not visible, but should be connected with the bank. How many agree with me? Very good. Like, for example, the simple example that I gave this morning was that squeezing a handful of sand, no oil comes out. Squeezing a handful of sunflower seeds, oil does come out. So you said that the difference is that the oil, what is that? Sunflower seeds have intrinsic potential for oil. Sand does not have the potential for oil. This is what we have learned. So likewise, can we really have the infinite ease, infinite goodness, infinite calmness? In order to feel that, there must be a potential within. If a potential is not there, then we cannot feel it. So from what we learned this morning, is that, say, when the mother feels that, and for example, say, your name? What Siddhartha said is that for feeding the crows started to trust Siddhartha. And likewise, Ganesha, when he was talking to the elderly man started to share all his life story with Ganesha, because he could feel the trust. He could feel the trust in him. So likewise, if the animals, they trust, they feel the connection, they feel the affection with you, and you feel the beautiful moment. Just imagine that say the birds, if they happen to land on your shoulder, would you be happy? Not happy. If the birds otherwise would be very cautious, would be scared to fly next to you, and they fly and they sit on your shoulder, would you be happy? Not happy. Very happy, very happy, which means that this bird is trusting you, trusting you. It's so beautiful feeling. So likewise, so when you feel that, the feeling of affection comes. So this feeling of affection, when you multiply this, along with the feeling of affection, there's a joy. Along with the fire, there's a heat. You agree? Along with the fire, there's a heat. Fire invariably connects with the heat. Likewise, affection invariably connects with the joy. For example, a child. How many of you had that experience? Being in school, boarding school, bully, and then you come home and you feel all cells of your body relaxes. How many felt that? Yes, I too. Ajagasana maybe many times. Okay, how many of you felt that? The girl there. How many of you, you never experienced bully, raise hands? Never experienced bully. Okay, you have to experience it once. Experience one, and then you will appreciate. In college ragging, they tried. Was it pleasant feeling? Not pleasant feeling. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so look, the point is that the unpleasant feelings and the pleasant feelings. When you have the unpleasant feeling, for example, a child in school being bullied, extremely suffocating. The moment child comes to the, for example, like, okay, let me show you my experience. So, in fact, these philosophical teachings, so the study of psychology, will make sense to you when you relate this to your real life. If you don't relate it to your real life, then it has no effect. It's just a pure dry knowledge. And sometimes some of the philosophers, psychologists, psychotherapists, what they tell the clients, it doesn't work. Clients, they become even more agitated, very angry because what the psychologist is saying doesn't they couldn't relate this with the real life. But some psychologists, they utter 1-2 lines, instantly the client feels connected. Yes, it makes sense. She knows exactly what I'm going through. He knows exactly what I'm going through. Okay, so we need to be able to relate this to a real life. So with this, we see that the okay. So the by the way, we don't have much time till 5. We don't have much time. Okay, so I know I don't want to go through too much of the stories, although these stories actually add to our understanding the feeling, invoking the feelings. It doesn't matter. Okay, now the question is, do we have this potential to feel infinite affection towards all? This is the question. So for that, the first thing is people talk about health, self-compassion. Health, self-compassion. Yes, I like to, but it's not coming. This question, you should be courageous enough to ask these questions. Yes, of course, I like to love myself, but self-love is not coming because I hate myself. I hate myself because nothing good is with me. You're getting it? Nothing is good with me. No, you have to love yourself. If you don't love you cannot love others. I want to, but it's not happening. How? You're getting it? You must ask these questions. You must ask these questions. How should I love myself? Okay. Okay, let's say that, there are 2 children and the two mothers. In one case, The mother is just a very simple mother. And the other is the vice chancellor of a university or a dean of a or a dean, right? Say for the two children and the degree of the love towards the mother, it's just the same, right? And who do you think, which of the two child A or child B, child B whose mother is a dean, versus child A, whose mother is just ordinary mother? Which of the two children will have a sense of pride? Tell me. Be very honest. The second one, right? Okay. So because the second one feels that my mother has these qualities, she's respected by everybody. You're getting it? So when likewise you when you see the qualities in you, when you see the qualities in you, self-love comes. Self-love comes. Hey, you have to love yourself. You have to love you. However 1,000 times somebody tells you will not help you to have a self-love. Only when you realize that you have qualities, then automatically the self-love comes. So first, the charity begins at home. First, you need to have a self-love. But how? This is a serious question. So the answer is that we all have that potential, enormous potential for the infinite goodness, which we discussed this morning. The goodness, infinite calmness, infinite happiness, infinite ease. So we all have that potential. And of course, the question is, how do we know that? How do we know that? So with this, the thing is, what we have learned a little bit in the morning is that this goodness, be it like on the 100% scale, on a scale of 100%, on a scale of 0.1%. 0.1%, when you feel this affection, the joy comes. How many of you feel that? Raise hands. When you feel the affection, the joy comes. Raise hands. The moment you feel that somebody is truly caring, your sense of barrier dissolves. Raise hands. Sometimes it's not necessary that somebody should be too close to you. Even somebody who's a stranger, the moment you meet, you can feel that this person is not at all judgmental. You can feel it. This person is not at all judgmental. Then you just feel like sharing, like what happened to Ganeshji, the elderly man. He shared everything. So with this, we see that this is the connection link where you feel the barrier dissolves. What Albert Einstein calls as the prison of your mind. Nobody creates this prison. The prison is created by your own mind. How to dissolve this prison? By widening the circle of compassion, embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its entirety. Widen it. What's the next question? How to widen it? How to widen it? Okay, this is very interesting discussion. Don't forget it. How to widen this circle of compassion? How to demolish this prison, mental prison? How to widen this? Okay. Okay, here. So 3 points. Say emotions, destructive emotions and constructive emotions. Emotions which breaks a barrier, which dissolves a barrier where you feel the enormous, massive compassion, versus destructive emotions which creates a barrier and you're put in prison and you're being suspicious, judgmental of everyone. This is a real prison. And the accompanying feeling is very unpleasant. When the mind expands, with the sense of being judgmental, it dissolves, your ease expands. Finally, no matter what, your job is to dissolve, remove your unease, and expand your ease. Whatever makes you have it, do it. By being judgmental, if your ease expands, do this. By not being judgmental, if your ease expands, do this. Finally, what we are all seeking is we seek to expand our ease and stop the painful tears. So this is a job. So with this mind, so this is about managing your emotions. And these teachers, these great teachers of the past, in India, all these great teachers, in the West also, many teachers, for example, Socrates is amazing. Likewise, Plato, Aristotle, amazing. And many, for example, the first time that I was in Cambridge University in England, there I met with amazingly brilliant philosopher. And okay, it's just a little bit digression. Is there any Britisher? No Britisher? Okay. So Britishers in Britain say is that they have a tendency to remain reserved. This is the cultural thing. Because people have different cultural mindsets. Likewise, the Tibetans have different cultural mindset, Indians have different cultural mindset, French have different cultural mindset. So this is what it is. So the British, they are a little reserved, and of course their contribution to the world is just immense. We have to acknowledge that. If we don't acknowledge that, we are trying to again create a division. So we have to acknowledge India has its own strength. Say the British have their own strength, and everywhere they have their own strengths. If you can really acknowledge all the strengths of each other and then build on this, the world is going to be a very beautiful world. Okay, so I was always going from my college to the English. For me, the primary, the reason for me to be there is to improve my English. I was a part of the Cambridge University, and then giving the lectures and so forth alongside to improve my English, to go to school. So these two things that I've been doing. From the Beijing College to the school, I tried the travel mode is the coach, bus coach. And for whole 1 month, 2 months, I was going and I know each other. We know each other, who. But we never talked. We never talked. We even did not even smile. It's all like we don't know each other at all, but you know each other. Then one time, and if I'm sitting there, there's an empty seat, nobody will sit here. And if they sit there and the empty seat, I will not sit there. So reserved. There was one lady. I was in my 30s, she must be in her 60s. And I've been seeing her all the time. And one day I sat there, empty seat there, she said, very unusual. And she turned to me, are you Geshe Damdul? Okay, how did you know my name? And she said, my husband wants to invite you to our house. I said, why? Why? And she said that my husband is a philosopher. And he knows about your presence here. He knows about your visit here. And he wants to invite you to a house. And she just opened up and being very kind, exchange of phone numbers. And then on the actual day of my visiting the house, the husband was there. Extremely gentleman, amazingly gentleman. And then I asked him, I could see that he's so matured in philosophy, as a person, so warm. And I asked him, in fact, for me, it is like a debut to the Western culture. And I'm just wondering, if I were to read a Western philosophy, which book would you suggest? Then he suggested David Hume, and particularly the Inquiry into the Human Understanding. He suggested me to read that. And then I thought about how to get access to these books and so forth. And finally, he said that you are a part of Cambridge University. You have access to the whole library of Cambridge University. And he said that Cambridge University actually compiled like 23 huge volumes of encyclopedia of philosophy. And you have access to that because you are a Cambridge University a member. And then he took me upstairs, and there lies the 23 huge volumes of encyclopedia on philosophy. And I saw his name on each of the volume. Saw his name, Craig. I said, "Is this you?" He said, "Yes." He was the chief editor of all these encyclopedia volumes. Extremely down to earth. So what I'm saying is that reading Western philosophy, of course, he inspired me, and it's very inspiring. So the thinkers, great thinkers, how they think is extremely valuable. So what I'm saying is that India has a strength, West has a strength. All the countries, they have their own strengths. So we have to acknowledge them. So our next question is finding all these knowledges should be driven for the human flourishing, for your flourishing, for my flourishing, for the community, flourishing of the community, for the flourishing of the world, for the flourishing of the nations. So the question is how to bring about, and finally we say that, for example, we talk about the chemicals, organic, or the chemicals and so forth, or this is not organic. What do you mean by that? Whether it's organic or non-organic, the material comes from the earth, nature. Yes, you agree with me? There's nothing that can scientifically produce something. Raw material must come from the earth. You agree? Likewise, if you are really looking for this infinite ease, then it must be the raw material must be inside. Yes, it is there. Now the question is how to unearth the raw material of the infinite ease. How to unearth it. So at the moment, let's say somebody says, "You stupid," and what is your response? "You stupid." This is a response. So look, our mind is so volatile. Meanwhile, we are very unhappy. We are very volatile. Our mind is very volatile, and yet we are very unhappy. But this is not your true nature. The gold mixed with the mud. This is not the true nature. For example, like the green vegetations, put on the, what is that? Put on the blue glasses, what will you see? Purple. It's not purple, it's green. You're getting it? So purple, because that is influenced by your glasses. So likewise, your true nature is not like "you stupid," and then you respond, "You stupid." This is not your true nature. When somebody says "you stupid," and then if you say that, if you don't say anything, it's as though like you're weak. So all these questions which I think this girl, somebody asked this morning, so will pop up here. So with this, the thing is that we all have the beautiful, the gold, piece of gold inside. Gold, so when the mud is removed completely, metal dirt is removed completely, the gold manifests, the glow manifests, glow of joy manifests within us. Infinite. So how to make it? For this, we need to learn how to transform our mind. So it says managing the emotions. Destructive emotions are there, and constructive emotions are there. What do you mean by destructive, constructive? Destructive emotions are the emotions, the presence of which disturbs your mind. You don't want disturbance. Constructive emotions, the presence of which heals your mind, gives you ease, gives you the feeling of goodness. This is the constructive emotions. Don't say the compassion constructive. Anger is destructive. Don't classify on that basis. So whether compassion is constructive, destructive, let's check it. How to check it? Say, let compassion arise. And what do you feel? You feel agitated or you feel calm? You feel calm. And anger, it gives you a sense of strength. But in reality, what is the strength for? Why do you need strength? Strength to keep me calm and peaceful. But anger, the moment anger arises, you're disturbed. Your peace disrupts. So therefore, we have to be wise in, first of all, segregating which are the emotions which are helpful to you, which are the emotions which are destructive. We have to classify them. Then, identifying these emotions well, then you discover that, okay, so those emotions will disrupt me of my peace. These emotions, I have to get it off. If I get rid of them completely, then my peace expands to infinity like the gold. Remove the mud fully, then the gold will glow 100%. So how to do that? So we see, I gave the 3 tips here, and it's not that I am giving. These are all what you find in the standard text from the Indian classical Indian Buddhist philosophical texts. So one is building the gravity of concentration. So just imagine the wind is blowing from the fan, and if you keep say a wooden ball, not wood, say cotton ball, cotton, just make it a small ball, keep it there, versus a metal, solid metal, keep it there. If you keep this wind, which of the two will be moved? The cotton. Why? Because cotton's light. Cotton does not have the gravity. So our mind can be like a piece of cotton, or it can be like a solid diamond, or metal, solid diamond, or gold. So if you train, and this mind, you can train it in any ways. You can make it very destructive. You can make it very constructive. You can make it like a very light, like a cotton, or you can make it like a solid diamond with the full gravity. So when there's a training there that, for example, someone says, "You stupid," instantly you feel disturbed. You're getting it? Say, you come here, Ajikesanla and Solanam Gela, two of them advertise, "Oh, there is Geshe Dorjee, and they're coming to this." And they say, "You're all welcome. You have to sign up." And you, all these many days, I'm a very complicated person. Now I've run away from this person. I will have a short break from that person, going to Tibetan pavilion. You sign up. And you come here, you feel, at least for the next 3 days, I'll be away from this complicated person. And the other person, you're a complicated person to the other person. Other person also signed up. Other person also signed up, seeing that I'll be freed from this person for the next 3 days. And then say, you are sitting in meditation. You're getting meditation. And you open the eyes, and the person, you see the person walking past by. What happens? Your heart will start to palpitate. Tick, 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 tick. Okay. And the person did not see you because you are in a corner. You're a corner, and the Jackie is, he is blocking you. You can see the other person cannot see you. But your heart is palpitating. Why? Why? This person did not come and make your heart to move like this. But your heart is so weak, like the cotton. You're getting it? It moves so easily. Even just by the person passing by, your heart also moved. The metal, the gold, diamond, it will not move. The cotton moves with a small wind blowing, it moves. So our mind is so light. It does not have any substance there. It can easily be moved. So we have to train our mind to make it very stable, grounded with gravity. This is one training. So that, for example, somebody says, okay, somebody who you dislike, the person comes, okay, maybe the person came for some other purpose. Your mind is not affected, right? Or maybe, he sees me as a complicated person. He signed up for this program, maybe. Right? And you are not affected. So there's a training there, how you not to be affected by building the gravity of the concentration, number one. Then number two, transforming the cognitive faculty for ontological reality. This is so beautiful. And I don't know whether we'll get time in these 3 days. Second one is like, say, how many of you had nightmare? How many of you had very scary dreams in your life? At least once in a lifetime. Yes, we all had very scary dreams. Okay, so anyone who wants to share your dream very quick? Dream of what? Quick, to save time, we have only 15 minutes more. Yes. Big, ferocious wave overcoming you. Or what is that? What? Big waves, almost like sucking you inside the, first getting out and then sucking you inside the ocean, right? Very scary. Anyone else? falling, and you are where we are scared, and then you say, and he can hit me. Yes, very, very scary, right? And the ocean wave like this, right? Ah, I'm finished. So when you say that, I'm finished, or the aeroplane comes, and then it is, and you think that I'm finished. When you say I'm finished, your mother wakes you up. You're happy, not happy? Very happy, very relaxed. Why? Why your mother, when she wakes you up, you're so happy? I realize it's a dream, but it was a dream even before. It was a dream even before. You agree with me? Why you are scared then? Exactly. So when you're dreaming, you're not aware that it was dream. When you wake up, you realize it was dream. You're getting it? So realizing dream as dream happens in dream or when you wake up. Realizing dream as dream happens in dream or when you wake up. When you wake up, realizing dream as dream is ignorance or wisdom. Seeing the dream as real is ignorance or wisdom. Is ignorance, and it happens in the dream. And the outcome is fear. Let me repeat it. Seeing the dream aeroplane hitting you, seeing the dream waves overpowering you as real is ignorance or wisdom. Seeing the dream wave, giant wave as overpowering you, as real wave overpowering you is ignorance or wisdom. Ignorance, and it happens in the dream or when you wake up. It happens when you're sleeping. And what's the outcome? Fear. So all the fears are driven by the ignorance. And when you see that, oh, it was just my dream. Aeroplane hitting me, aeroplanes hitting me, it was just dream. So seeing the dream aeroplane hitting you as a dream is the ignorance of wisdom. Wisdom. And it happens in the sleep or when you wake up. When you wake up, what's the outcome? The fear dissolves. Which do you want? You want the fear or dissolving the fear? You want to dissolve the fear. So if you want to dissolve the fear, get rid of the ignorance. How to get rid of the ignorance? Wake up from the sleep of ignorance. So therefore, the Buddha is revered as the fully awakened one. And it's not that, oh, Buddha is a fully awakened, we have to follow him. No, you also become a fully awakened one. The Buddha said you can become fully awakened. You also have the diamond inside. You can wake up from the sleep of ignorance. Wake up. Each one of us, what the Buddha is doing is telling us, wake up. Don't continue to suffer unnecessarily because of the ignorance. Remove the ignorance and wake up from sleep of ignorance and be freed from all the fears of dream. Okay, so this is because of the transforming the cognitive faculty of ontological reality. Ontologically speaking, in the dream, you see the dream as real. Ontologically, it's real. When you wake up, to discover that it's not ontologically real, it's ontologically faulty. It's all coming from a mind, not ontologically real. It's all coming from a mind. This is the number 3. Number 2. Number 3, expanding the affective faculty of mind. Say how the mother feels so loving, caring, and so beautiful moment when you see this child, newborn child. So there, what happens? All this sense of being judgmental, anger towards the child dissolves. It's no more there. It's just permeated by the pure affection. Mind flows so freely. So with this, now we have only 10 minutes. Okay, because okay, then the next part is whether or not we can expand this, number 3, expand the effective faculty of universal compassion, whether we can feel this universal compassion towards all the beings. So I'm going to just give you the clue, and let's work on this and think more. And those of you who come tomorrow, day after tomorrow, so the rest of the remaining 2 days as well will be connected with this topic. Okay, so let's say that in this world, give me an example of, we talk about universal compassion. What is that is compassion? Where there's a compassion towards somebody, the accompanying feeling is, accompanying feeling is very pleasant. Feeling of being cruel, feeling of being judgmental, they all dissolve. Where the compassion is, the feeling is very pleasant. You're getting it? Sometimes, with the compassion, pain is also there. These also we have to treat them separately. So generally speaking, say you are compassionate towards person A and you are very unhappy with the person B. Just tell me, with whom do you want to spend time? With the person A or B? Person A, that's very easy. You're getting it? So this will dissolve many of your unnecessary questions. So person A, why? Because you feel at ease. The next question is, can we expand this ease to infinite people? If this question. So the answer is yes. So your question is, how? Okay, for this, give me an example. Give me an example of a beautiful feeling of connection of feeling of closeness, which you can so readily see in the world. Give me an example of beautiful feeling of connection, very pure feeling of closeness. Closeness at the same time, which you can see readily in the world. Anyone? Quick, to save time. Huh? Okay, don't be too philosophical or don't be not philosophical. This is poetic. This is very poetic. Let's not go into the poetry. No, I said readily visible. Mother and the child, most common example. You're getting it? Mother and the child. Now my question to you. Just can you imagine that if you could feel the same love the mother feels towards the child, the mother feels towards, if you feel the same love the mother feels towards the child, if you feel the same to all the beings, your ease will multiply to infinity. You agree? Okay, yes. Okay. Now the question is that if there is, so how many of you feel that now? You feel this infinite ease to infinite ease. No, if you feel that you will not come here, I know. You don't feel it. Let's be very honest. We have only 7 minutes. You're getting it. Let's not waste our time. So now the point is that if you can feel that to the infinite beings, to everyone, is amazing. But we don't feel it yet. Because I don't feel it, I have to learn. Right? And to learn, we need examples. And the best example would be the mother and the child affection. From there, it's so visibly seen. Now, this mother and child, the mother feels enormous affection to the child. The day when the child is born, the mother feels enormous affection to the child. And the child also feels affection towards the mother, or no? Day one you are born. Huh? Yes, no. Day one you are born, do you feel the same affection to the mother? The moment you're born, thank you, mom, for giving birth. Or who cares? I don't know anybody on the planet Earth. So look, that this child, you as a child, day when you're born, you do not have any feeling of affection to a mother at that point. But people are there who said, no, that's not true. Scientifically speaking, neuroscientists, they've proven that the child in the mother's womb communicates with the mother. The brain is not developed. Use the common sense. Child's brain is not yet developed. You're getting it? So just say, when a dog bites a human being, this is not a news. When a human being bites a dog, then it becomes a news. Why? Because it's so rare. You're getting it? So keeping aside all these rare things, generally speaking, the reality is that when you're born, you don't thank your mother, mom, thank you. No. For you, there's no difference whether mom picks you up or a nurse picks you up or a kidnapper picks you up. No difference for you. This is reality. But this child who does not have any affection to the mother at that point, when you're born, within the span of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, child develops enormous affection, feeling closeness to the mother. You agree? Not agree? Yes. How many of you felt that? When you were age 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, You see the prospect of the mother separating from you for the next 1 day, 2 days, you start to scream. Raise hands. You feel the pain. Raise hands. Yes. Why did you cry? Why did you cry? Huh? Why did you cry? Tell me at that point. Why? Because you could feel the pain of the separation. Because you feel so close to your mother. You're getting it? Now, our situation now, with respect to all the beings, versus the child's relationship with the mother, the mother's relationship with the child, which of the two is similar to our situation? Child, day one, the child was born, the child loves the mother? Yes, no? No. You love all the sentient beings now? No, same. You're getting it? So, same. And the mother, the moment the child is given birth, mother loves the child, yes? And we don't feel this to all the beings. So if we can learn compassion to the beings, our compassion we should learn from the child, not from the mother. Because the mother, there's no barren similarity between you and the mother. But you and the child is very similar. The child does not love the mother, day one. And within a span of 3 years' time, the child develops tremendous affection to the mother. So likewise, we can learn that way. We don't feel this affection to all the beings. If we look for the basic reason, operation by which the child develops this enormous affection to the mother, we can copy this. Okay, now tell me, how did this child, day one, no affection to the mother, within a span of 3, 4, 5 years' time, she or he builds an enormous feeling of affection to the mother? How did this happen? Anyone? How did it happen? Yes, tell me. Child, yes, how many agree with, what's your name? Simran. How many agree with Simran that the child sees the mother as a source of benefit? You're hungry, you cry, the mother comes. You feel cold, you cry, the mother comes. And cover you up, and the feeling of the cold disappears. Thirst, or say the dog barks at you, and you cry, and the mother comes and you shoo away the dog. So you see that this is a source of benefit. When you see the source of benefit, the mother as a source of benefit, the mind goes closer to the source of benefit. So this feeling going closer towards the source of benefit is known as feeling close. You're getting it? What does it mean by feeling close? I feel close to my mom, which means I love my mom. You agree? So how the child develops this love towards the mother is by seeing the mother as a source of benefit. Likewise, if we can see that all the beings as a source of benefit, our love to all the beings will happen. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? The next question is, how can we see that everybody is a source of benefit for me? This question. Look at my neighbor, very complicated neighbor, right? So instead of source of benefit, he's stealing my benefit. So people will argue like this. Okay, so we see that. Okay, Ajika-san, what is the possibility for this audience to come tomorrow morning? Or different audience? Different audience will come next morning, or the same audience? Mostly same, raise hands, tomorrow morning. Oh, almost the same, almost the same. So we will then continue. What's the question? How can we see everyone as a source of benefit for me, while I know that my neighbor is very complicated? Instead of being a source of benefit, it steals my benefit. You're getting it? So how can I see everybody as a source of benefit? So this is so important. Once you are convinced with this, you apply this, then your mind will expand. Your compassion will expand, and your ease builds up. This is you are your self-therapy. You are the greatest of your own therapy. You become the self-therapist for yourself. So this is so precious. Okay, so I may invite 1 or 2 questions. 1 or 2 questions, because at 6 o'clock we have the next class, which is going to happen here. Yes, here. Okay, so your neighbor or husband or a child or a father or mother. You want to keep it confidential, it's also fine. Or your boss or your junior or your sister. Okay, now I'm just joking. You're getting it done, but you don't have to disclose who that is. Maybe somebody's around, I don't know. Okay, so basically, this is a very serious question. Very serious question. So, still, I'm yet to complete my talk. So, if you're really interested in this, tomorrow make yourself available for that. And then they say, once my talk is complete, then you can come with any questions. These will help us to fine-tune our understanding, fine-tune our practices. You're getting it? Okay, for this reminds me of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, when he, those days like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whenever he travels, give talks to the public in India, abroad, America, to thousands of people, to lakhs of people in a huge stadium. So there, I remember one time, after the talk, during the question and answer session, somebody asked a question, Your Holiness, you always talk about compassion, compassion. But in reality, the moment I'm being compassionate, people take advantage of my compassion. So what should I do? It doesn't work. So His Holiness says, look, His Holiness response. His Holiness says, if a mad dog comes, don't say compassion, compassion, run away. You're getting it? In other words, compassion, there are two kinds of compassion, unwise compassion and skillful compassion. Follow wise compassion or skillful compassion. You're getting it? Compassion where there's win-win, not win and loss, or loss-loss. Right? Compassion should be win-win, not win and loss, or loss-loss. Go for win-win. This is known as skillful compassion. And then creating border, keeping a boundary, right? Keeping a boundary, but the boundary, okay, look, say keep a boundary. Again, you can create a boundary in two different ways. Where, okay, enough is enough. You're getting it. Now don't come too close. There's a boundary there. And deep inside, you have affection. Just to teach a lesson to the other person, create a boundary, right? Not enough is enough, right? Because deep inside this, enough means, okay, now done. I'm fed up. Go your own way. So compassion is missing. Compassion is there, deliberately create a boundary so the person senses that I cannot abuse her compassion. She is smart. So why, say, this abuse of the compassion happens? And sometimes it's also known as compassion fatigue. So why abuse of compassion happens is that usually other person feels that other person takes your compassion as a sign of weakness. Number two, other person feels that you are stupid. So for these two reasons, people take advantage of compassion. Now you have to send a message to counteract these two suppositions. Counteract these two suppositions, you send a message and the person will instantly change. How? First, that you're stupid, which means you don't know what I'm trying to do, right? So there, you keep a boundary. Boundary means I know what you're trying to do. I don't want me to be affected by your bad influence. Keeping a boundary, number one. Number two, that what I'm doing to you is out of compassion, not out of weakness. This is the second message that you have to send. How? Say, the moment you create the boundary, every dog has a day. You also have a day when the other person has to surrender to you. At that time, instead of taking that as an advantage over the other person, you express compassion. The person expecting that now he or she will bully me. Instead of that, you show compassion, help, and again create a boundary, keep distance. Keep distance. Who can do that? Only strong people can do that. Weak people cannot do that. Weak people, the moment you see that you are stronger than the other, that you will just try to bark at the other person. So whereas the moment you jump to help rather than bark, bite, this is only the strong people can do. So the person can see your strength. The moment you do it, and then once the benefit is given to other person, you again create a boundary. This only strong people can do. So the person gets the message that you are very strong. You're not weak. What you've been doing thus far is all out of compassion, not out of your weakness. When these two messages are conveyed to the other person, the person will surrender to your compassion. Next time, the person will never take advantage of your compassion. Next time, you don't have to create the boundary at all. Person will automatically feel a boundary. Good. Last question. Anyone? Yes, over here. Where's the green brochure? It's there. All right. Okay, show that to me. Thank you. So in it, you see the topics. The topics, it says four series of Buddha's teachings, introductory, and then the NDC 6.11. Point 11, it says 10 systems. This is a major text to help you wake up from the sleep of ignorance. And the question this morning, Ganeshi asked, what is emptiness? It says wisdom of emptiness. So these are things that will help you to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. Okay, we stop here. Yes. Okay, meditation 5 minutes. Okay, now no need to give the instructions. Okay, ready? Thank you. At 6 o'clock, we have the online class. Anybody who likes to join, feel free to join. You may not take it too seriously. Just see what is meant by the technical aspect of the philosophical texts. And some of you may, although you may not be able to follow what is being discussed, still you may appreciate, okay, there are some technicalities there. The very technical things, which like studying quantum physics or relativity theory, there are technical aspects. So there, some people may even appreciate that, oh, there are technical things to be learned. So feel free. If you're interested, you can join. Okay, thank you.